It started Wednesday about 4 o'clock. It's Sunday, 11 o'clock. It's got some beautiful pearl in it. Of course, not so beautiful when you get over here on the other side. Maybe I can do one of those, you just go, and it's fixed. All right, let's bring you guys over closer so you can see this happen. This is gonna happen from time to time when you're working on trucks. You're gonna break off bolts. Still tight to the touch, but now it's coming by hand. So we brought the frame back into the shop and got it on the lift and raised it up, started disconnecting some of the wires, but I realized that the tailgate is closed. Unfortunately, Ford has neglected to put any sort of a mechanical release in case your battery is completely dead. So this truck doesn't even have a cab hooked up, so there's no battery, there's no power, and I don't have a way to get this tailgate open. We're gonna go ahead and put the cab back on the truck, get everything connected, get the truck running and driving again, and then we will go and do the tailgate. Ford, if you're listening, give us a way to do a manual tailgate release on the power tailgate. If you were wanting to pull this back glass out for whatever reason, getting a windshield knife up underneath there's not a really good option. There's really only one
good way, and that's with the rope wire. And so we bought a kit. It's a Viv Auto Tools. A lot of the reviews on Amazon, this comes with some steel wire, and they said it was junk, and I tried it just now and it didn't work 2 seconds. But they said if you'll buy, this happens to be by Tool Aid, it's a braided golden cutout windshield wire, so it looks like it's a little heavier duty. How this works is you feed this wire up through this hole in the bottom, and it comes out the slot here in the side, and then you poke it through that hole, so then it locks back in when you push it down. You get a hold of both ends of this wire and you pull it back and forth. We do have a cable to deal with that we're going to have to get around. We're going to have to make sure that when we're pulling this, we're not cutting into this piece here. So we're going to have to make sure and go around that. So we're just going to feed this wire in this slot on this windshield, and then we're going to start pulling back and forth either direction. I got it hot and now it's stuck. Getting that glue hot and then stopping is not a good idea. So maybe I can start from the other side.
It's 4:40 a.m. on Friday morning. We're headed to Jacksonville, Florida to take Joe's truck back. Truck's showing 5 stops today. We may stop a little more because it's always faster if you stop at stops that peak out at the 170. Planning to use Tesla stops most all the way. We're going to stay at the La Quinta in Columbus, Georgia. So we just hit this. Navigate to La Quinta in Columbus, Georgia.
La Quinta Inn and Suites by Wyndham Columbus North.
And then it's going to calculate the percent charging at each stop, how much total charge time you have. Here's your trip time. You can look at the trip to find out what it's suggesting. It's suggesting we go to Francis Energy, and then the rest of them are actually Tesla superchargers. So first stop, I already calculated it's 212 miles, but other than that, these stops should be fine. So we'll be adding stops and doing things along the route as we go. So we are about 13 miles or so into our trip, and it's already dropped to 1.7. The interesting part is, you go over here and look at the weather and radar app, it shows you that we're running into a 19-mile-an-hour headwind almost straight into the truck. So that's going to be like the worst case scenario, 52 degrees outside into a headwind for efficiency on these trips. Hey, so we're here at Lowell, Arkansas. I got the truck plugged in. Tesla station, it's charging fastest speeds I've ever seen. I saw 186 kilowatts, and that was after about 6 minutes. So it's charging really fast. Truck's running wonderful. This Blue Cruise 1.3 with the lane assist is absolutely fantastic. It will, you hit the button on you hit the stalk on the turn signal, it moves the truck over. If there's a car coming, it'll wait. And it also keeps the blinker on the entire time it's making the lane change, so that's really sweet. Also, the Google Maps nav EV routing is spot on. It said we we're going to get here with 31%. We pulled in with 32. It's really working well. The intuitiveness of the software is what I love. You just tell Google, say, "Hey Google, do this," and it'll do it. You want to add a stop, it'll add a stop. It is really good. So far, I got another 1,100 and some miles, 10,000 miles or so to go. We're going to use it the whole way and see what happens. If it starts messing up and we don't like it, we can always switch back to factory nav, or we can go to a better route planner. But for right now, I'm sticking with, and I can verify that it does precondition the battery. It started about 62 degrees and it brought it all the way up to 71.6 before we got here. So the EV routing does precondition the battery. So we're headed to Florida. Next stop, Ozark, Missouri. Okay, so the last stop when we left Lowell, Arkansas, said we were going to arrive with 28%. We were about 10 minutes from the Ozark, Arkansas stop, and now it's saying we're going to have 25%. So it's adjusted a little bit for wind. We were getting 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour, and that seems to be pretty accurate. It's the last stop said I was going to get there with 31. I got there with 32. So I think that was a really close estimate, and I think the Google Maps EV is working well so far. So the only thing that I'm not sure on yet, and I think it's going to come as I get used to it, is how much do I need to charge to at the next station. So the only thing it shows you is once you're there, it says to leave, and it shows your arrival at the next stop. So I guess based on that, you just charge up until you feel comfortable with the percentage you're going to arrive at the next stop. So it doesn't give you a whole lot of information, but it's telling me that my next stop is at the Tesla supercharger in Conway. And this wasn't on the plan. We were actually planning to skip from here all the way to Brinkley, but with the headwinds we're getting and the 1.7 mile per kilowatt hour, we're just going to follow the Tesla chargers. So this is the key right here. It shows we're going to arrive with negative 16% because we just got here, and we're sitting at 26% right now. We're going to just watch that, and when that gets to like 20%, 15%, whatever we're comfortable with the next stop, then we're going to take off. So it said we were going to get here with 28%. We got here with about 25 to 26. So it was only about 3% off. So really, if I charge to 10% in Conway, we should be able to go. The rule of thumb when you're charging on a trip, it's always better to go faster because the truck is going to charge energy back into the truck faster than it can consume it. And if you'll stop more often and charge during those peak cycles that the Lightning has on the charge curve, you'll actually save time on the trip. So this first part of the trip, the last stop, we were seeing 186 kilowatts, and it held that for nearly 10 minutes. So if I could only hit these stops at 10 minutes a stop and do more of them, I'm going to charge a whole lot faster than once the curve drops off to 130 kilowatts. So when you're on a trip and you've got availability to stop and the chargers are pretty close to the highway, like this one, you can see here, the highway is just right there. So it was really like 30 seconds off the highway. So if you can do that, stop more often, jump out. I was there 14 minutes on the last stop. I'm probably going to be here. We're already at minus 12, so we're probably going to be here another 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're gone again. So really, the key is maximizing those peak charge times. So you don't want to be charging above 80%. You want to be charged from 50 to 80 if you can. There's going to be a couple runs today that are longer that we have to do that, but we're going to minimize that as much as possible. So we left that supercharger in Ozark with an estimated arrival at Conway with 18%. And I thought that's good enough, let's roll, but we're getting 1.3 mile per kilowatt hour with this run. I got it at 80 miles per hour, but the truck is really struggling with this wind. We're in a 22 mile an hour headwind, so there's a chance I'm going to have to slow down before we get to this next stop in order to be able to make it to Conway. I could stop in Russellville at the Electrify America. I don't want to do that. I want to try to use Tesla the entire trip, but there is a chance that we'll have to stop. We're going to keep driving and just watch this and see. It's already saying we're going to be there for 16%, so I'm going to keep following it and kind of keep you guys posted as to what happens with this next run. Okay, so we arrived at the Conway, Arkansas Tesla stop, and I want to show you what the truck is saying. It's actually telling us a charge percentage. So this time, welcome to Tesla Supercharger Conway. It says charge to at least 82%. The next stop is in Memphis. It says we'll arrive with 11%. There is some stops between here and there that we can stop at if needed, but they're slower chargers. So I'm going to charge to 82, maybe 85 on this one. It's 175 miles, so I'll probably overcharge a little bit so we can run faster. That'll give us some time to walk around here in Conway, see what's around, use the restroom. It's been a good trip so far. Truck's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. This Blue Cruise 1.3 is amazing. The Google, like I just showed you, the EV routing is amazing. I'm thoroughly impressed with Google's ability to navigate EVs on a trip for their first time. Maybe they've been doing it for other manufacturers, but not to Ford. So yeah, really good. All right, I want to give everybody another update on how the trip's going. So we are headed to Memphis. Going to push through Little Rock and drive all the way to Memphis. Our last stop was at Conway, and we end up charging the 90%. Bathrooms were quite a little walk because all the restaurants there were closed still. They didn't open until 11. We got there about 10. So walked around, went to the restrooms, come back, and had a phone call from a buddy. And Chris, you know who you are. Had a phone call from a buddy and ended up charging 90%. It was going to push us all the way to Memphis, and saying we're going to get to Memphis at 19%. It wanted to take me to the northern charger in Memphis. It was kind of a northern route, and so I actually told Google just to change that. I had them add a stop at the South Haven, and then I just said delete the stop at the other one, and it all did it very seamlessly. So that was easier than any other route planner I've ever used. So we're getting about 1.7 right now, headed east on I-40, so everything's looking pretty good. All right, so we're at the next leg of our trip, getting close to the South Haven exit here in a mile and a half. We got 1.6 mile per kilowatt hour on that run. It was 168 miles so far. We got 2 miles to go, so basically 170 miles. Really pushed the headwind hard the whole way. The Lightning can do about 220, 210 to 220 in normal winds. I did 170, so wind is not your friend. We're going to pull in here, plug in the Tesla charger, fill it quite a ways up. We're about the same run again here coming up, and then we'll try to do the next leg at 80 as well if the roads allow it. So this road was a 75 mile an hour road, so we ran 80 that time. That's why we're getting such terrible efficiency, but we're making up good time, and it's always better to go faster. So this trip has been inconsistent on results. So sometimes it'll say you're going to get there and you get there within a couple of percent. Other times it's different. So this particular leg was 170 miles. We ran about 80 miles an hour, so it was aggressive, but it's what we've been doing pretty much all day. It said we were going to have 18% on arrival when I left Conway. When I got here, I had 8. So it's again about 10% off on the initial estimates. So just like the last stop, I think that you can overcharge to 20 and you should get there with about 10. So Right now I have a 41% state of charge, and it's showing negative 24% at the next charger. So I'll charge at least 40 more percent to get me in that 20 to 24 positive percent range on arrival at my next stop. That means I'm going to be charging to about 82 to 85%. The last one I charged to 90 and we got here with 10. So if I charge to 85, we should get to the next one with around 5 to 10. So it's about accurate. And that's assuming nothing changes. So we could slow down. We could check the wind. We could see where the wind's going to be. The wind's been blowing directly in our face at 20. So it's not like it's going to get worse unless the wind picks up. So this is what it looks like when you're sitting at a charger waiting to go to the next stop. If you're connected with Android Auto wirelessly, then you pull the phone out of the truck at the stop to go use the bathroom and come back. You'll continue the trip and it'll say that this is where you're at. Right now it's thinking I'm gonna get to my next stop at 4. Obviously we're gonna be here another 30 minutes. So it's probably gonna be around 4:30. Our next stop is in Gwynn, Alabama. It's at a hotel. There's also a Francis Energy there. And then we have one more stop after that in Alexander City to charge before we stop at La Quinta for the night. We'll see what happens. We got another 375 miles to go today, about 6 hours, including our charge time. So we should get there about 9 or 10 o'clock. Is exactly what it was kind of anticipating earlier. So we're at Gwynn, Alabama at the Tesla location here at the Holiday Inn Express. It's a great stop. They have a bunch of Teslas. It's usually not very busy. There's only one car here at the moment. There is actually also 4 Francis Energies. They're really nice, even though 2 of them appear to be, maybe 2, at least one of them's offline, maybe 2, but you know, nice new units. But why would you use those when you got these beautiful red and white units? The truck's been running really, really well. 1.6 mile per kilowatt hour is about right at 80 with a crosswind of 18 to 20 miles an hour. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's kind of a flying brick, so it's not super efficient, but it does get about 185 miles real world range per stop. That's 85% down to 5%. So if you're expecting 300 miles, 320 miles out of a Lightning, no, that's not really real. You can do that around town from 100 to 0, but you're not going to do that on the highway. So I'm running 2 to 2.5 hours between stopping between 40 to 50 minutes and back on the road. Across Mississippi and Alabama, these charges are spread out about 2.5 hours a piece. So I'm overcharging a little bit and I'm making it work. So Joe's truck's performing exactly like it should. We don't have any issues. Everything's working like it should. I think he's going to be super stoked. I've texted him a few times through the trip and he is just excited as can be. I'm sure he's like a kid in a candy store waiting on this truck. It's been a long wait for him, over a year since he wrecked it. We were hoping for September 11th delivery date, but as things happen and having to replace the whole cab assembly and work on the bed, we had to take it to the frame shop, as you've seen earlier. It just didn't happen that fast. So, Joe, we're coming. We're on the way. See you soon. So we're at our last stop of the night before we get to the hotel, Alexander City, Alabama. This is a nice stop. Brand new. These are just V3s, but they're all Magic Dock. This last trip was 1.9 mile per kilowatt hour. We ran about 65 miles an hour most of the way, maybe 70. It was a lot of smaller roads, so we didn't have the higher speeds. Did exactly what I thought it was going to do. Still had some wind, but truck is running perfect. So we have one more stop at the hotel. I'll probably top off there just to make sure we're actually got enough to skip the Columbus charger and go right on to our next stop. So we will be back on the road at 4 or 5 in the morning and got 5 hours of driving tomorrow, and then we will be ready to give Joe his truck back. There's Joe. I figured you were watching the clock all day.
Yeah. Thank you. Good to see you.
You too, Holly.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
This
I've had so many people call me and contact me about this. It's here. It's fixed. It runs great. I have been honored to fix it and very honored to drive it back down here for you. So, yeah. So they're here. I think we should probably take the cover off this and
Yeah, please do.
see if it's still bashed in on the other side, or is it better? I've tried to go over and above, you know, with your situation, how this happened, as much as this has cost everybody. I wanted to do more. And so, like, the cover and all the extras I'm going to show you is just on me. Without further ado,
It's like hard to
It really has taken us a lot to get here. I didn't anticipate some of the things that you were dreading when you first called me. Like, you were like, I don't want to get into this and have to end up being more. And of course, we talked through that. But I think this is the right way to go because this truck is better than new now. The paint's better than new. The upgrades, I don't know if you've taken it all in other than this is not bashed anymore, but I've done some things. And if some of this stuff you don't like, it's easily reversible. I didn't do anything permanent here. So I added the little mud flaps to keep from slinging stuff down the side of your truck. I added some seal protectors for when you get in and out, you're always kicking it.
Yeah.
I'm not one for decals, okay? But I don't know if you like them or you don't. But I added a couple on the back.
No, those are
I thought they were classy, but I thought that would give you some honor as you drive around without feeling like I'm trying to show off to the world. So, like, and I just a little bit. I didn't want a big one, just a little bit of. I was really shooting for September 11th, and I knew if I just did it another month, we'd have time to get it absolutely perfect. What's going through your mind, Joe? Are you okay?
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Like I mean, you do amazing work, and like,
Well,
I never thought I'd really see it again.
I just appreciated the opportunity for you to call me. We've talked about this so many times. For you to call me, and then after talking, hand me your truck and some money, and some guy took off with it back to Kansas. Had to have been emotional and hard to swallow because I wasn't calling you and texting you every day, but I was trying to give you updates. And everybody up there was like, man, he's trusting of you. I said, well, I think we just kind of connected when we talked, and he knew that we were going to get it right.
Well, like I prayed about it. Like I lost all hope. Like I told you, like it's the only hope I had.
Nobody wanted to fix it.
Nobody. And I was like, and then I found you, and I was like, this, it's meant to be.
Yep. Because I already had a lot of experience.
And then for you to come to our house, and then I hadn't seen it move or do anything for months. And just back out of the driveway.
Kind of limped out of the driveway.
Yeah. but it moved. I was like,
It did. It moved. It's going to be hard for me to leave this here. I've been staring at it for almost, 6-7 months now, and when you first see it, it looks black, and then you get it in the right light, and that color just jumps. You have any idea how nervous I was driving it down here?
I didn't know if you would be, or
Oh my gosh. My stomach is in a knot just trying to get here because I didn't want to hit something, and I actually did hit a bird last night about 8 o'clock, and I about died. It just glanced off the hood and didn't hurt anything, but my heart sunk. I was like, driving through Alabama is deer country. I was so nervous. In fact, I left my house. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, why is this truck not on the trailer behind mine? I don't want to take this chance, but we made it. We're here.
I don't know if you saw it, but you know how you get to name your vehicle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Did you pick one for this?
yeah, so I figured it would only be fitting that it'd be called Marty. So
See, I figured that honors me, Joe. I figured he was going to name it after your dad. After your dad.
no.
Well, I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Come here, buddy.
I do.
Man,
I really do.
it's been a blast. It's been a lot of work. There's been some challenges. I didn't want to call you when I said we really need to replace the cab, but in my heart, I knew that was the right way to go. So what's first trip plan? You guys gonna go to dinner or?
Yeah, well, I said that. I said to celebrate, I'm definitely going to take her to dinner.
Yeah.
We also, I never thought I'd get to use, like, we still have some credit on Electrify America.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm never gonna get to use it. Thank you.
T-shirts now. These are, I bought these and they're just so expensive, and now I can get them. It's so much easier just to do them. Somebody was missing that. So I brought it back. I'm sure that's true.
Our daughter
daughter's-
Rachel. Yeah.
I don't know if she still has the other one, but Joe,
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Usual.
You bet.